Good morning and welcome to a new trip report here on the channel. I am right now making my way over to an airport. But which one? Well, Manchester Airport in the UK, because I have a proper red-eye flight today bringing me to Munich in Germany. Now, where is my flight leaving from? I'm not entirely sure. Flight radar suggests that it's going from Terminal 2, but flight radar should not always be trusted in things like that. On my digital ticket there isn't anything specified, but luckily I also have a PDF and there it says Terminal 1, so that's where I'll be heading now. If it's wrong, well, Terminal 2 is not that far away, so I should also be able to make my way over there in time. But yeah, we will be flying with Lufthansa today, so let's see how they can do on this early morning service. But as I said, let's first figure out where we're actually leaving from. When I think back to some of my earlier travels from British airports like Heathrow, they always seem to be a bit of a maze, and Terminal 1 of Manchester gives me the exact same feeling. But I do find my way to the departure hall, although here I do take a wrong turn in my pursuit in finding the Lufthansa check-in desk. This mishap is however quickly rectified. The desk is hiding, as on the backside there are even further check-in counters, and that is where we find the counters of Lufthansa. And now, with my luggage checked in, it's time to head through security. I do understand why airports don't want people to film around the security checks, because then people would actually see how badly they're doing. Okay, to put it in perspective, the staff was friendly. I mean, they didn't talk much, but I mean, it's just crammed and it's not really well organized. So not the best experience so far, but let's see what the areas of the airport behind security have to offer. When I look here, I mean, that does look a little bit more modernized. Now, I haven't been to this airport in at least 20 years, but when I arrived a few days ago, my impression was that not much had changed from since the late 90s, early 2000s, and to be honest, it didn't give me the best impression. Not that anything was wildly terrible, but the airport left me with the impression of a tired building that definitely could use a facelift. And to be fair, that is also what is happening, as the airport is refurbishing Terminal 2 at the moment, and I would imagine this will continue at some point with Terminal 1 as well, or at least I hope so, as it would be quite needed. Before heading to the gate, I would like to get some breakfast, and Lufthansa uses the Aspire Lounge here at Manchester Airport. It's hardly a massive revelation, to be honest. At the entrance we are told that the machine for hot food is broken. I guess that means the oven or stove. So no scrambled eggs, I guess. But the view from the lounge is really nice. So with that, it's easy to enjoy a yogurt. So with some food in my stomach, it's time to head to the gate. Again, the maze-like terminal building presents itself, but at least the signage is clear, so no major risk of getting lost. Although the last bit of the way to gate 22 is a bit peculiar. Do we have a bus boarding gate, or why do we need to head downstairs? And who doesn't like the smell of old urine early in the morning? No, you don't? Well, me neither, but that's what we have to face to get to the gate, which isn't a bus boarding gate, as we're heading up again, where the wait luckily isn't too long before boarding is started.
Thank you. Take care.
So, welcome on this morning flight with Lufthansa from Manchester to Munich. Yeah, so far so good. Manchester Airport been a bit of an experience. Hasn't changed that much actually, I think. Surprisingly, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, a typical British airport, I think. The cabin of the Airbus A320 is at the current standard of the Lufthansa group, with fairly sized overhead compartments, the usual Euro economy seating with minimal padding that is comfortable enough for most European flights, but above 2 hours it can get a bit tough. Although the seat pitch is good as always. As a point of reference, I'm 182 centimeters tall. Power or USB plugs do remain missing on Lufthansa aircraft, but Wi-Fi is becoming available on more and more flights, and now even with a free Wi-Fi option. And as announced by the airline, an offer that will be extended from 30 minutes to the entirety of the flight from 2024. So definitely a step in the right direction. Now this might seem like a flight like so many others, but in reality this is one of the more special flights for me personally. The reason for that is that I have never ever experienced being pushed back by a person that I actually know. In this case, Mike, or you might know him on Instagram as Donleg, a all-around good guy and a person that I have known for a while and now also met personally, was actually involved in the pushback. A small and perhaps for many others insignificant detail, but for me very, very awesome. As I say, I've never been pushed back by a person that I actually know personally. So thank you very much, Mike, to you and your colleagues for handling this aircraft so very well. What an absolute legend. And if you want to see awesome content from Manchester Airport and his model airport, then do check him out. I will leave a link to his Instagram in the video description below. Once in the air, the onboard service is started. Complimentary food and beverages on board Lufthansa flights aren't offered anymore, although you do still get a free bottle of water, which is a big plus in my books. Should you feel the need for something more substantial, then Lufthansa offers a wide range of snacks, meals, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages at fairly reasonable prices. As reasonable as it can get above 30,000 feet at least. And they have seasonally changing special offers as well. But if you want to save some money, bring your own food. A inconvenience when it comes to Lufthansa's on-board menu that unfortunately needs mentioning is the tendency of flights not having sufficient items stocked, which means items not being available is unfortunately a regular occurrence. Now, on my last Lufthansa flight I made a very disgusting discovery in my board menu. This time I find it stuck to the seat in front of me. Disgusting! The crew does once again a good job throughout the flight, or at least the parts that I witnessed, as I needed to catch up on some much needed sleep. Now, unfortunately we did pick up some delay when leaving Manchester, so my connection in Munich will be tighter than expected. And as we are flying from the UK, which is outside of Schengen, we of course still need to head through immigration when arriving in Munich before I can head to my next flight. Luckily, Terminal 2, from which Lufthansa operates at Munich Airport, is one of the most efficient terminals in Europe, so I am still hopeful that I'll be able to catch my next flight.
Sometimes, yeah. They're not meant to give you change, but sometimes you ask them.
Now, as much as I love Munich Airport, there was one not so great surprise waiting for us at the gate, and that was no gate personnel, which meant we had to wait another 10 to 15 minutes on board the aircraft before we could deboard. Wiedersehen. So, welcome to Munich. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a delay with the flight, and then there was no ground staff at the gate. That didn't help because I have now a very tight connection, but let's see, maybe I'm lucky and I will make it. In any case, thanks so much for having joined me on this trip. Because of the tight connection, I'll be ending the video here. But despite the tight connection, it was a very enjoyable, even though very early flight. And if you have enjoyed this trip as much as I have, then feel free to leave a like. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. And just to round it all off, I can also announce that I did make my connection flight. With that, see you in another trip here on the channel very soon. I'm checking out, and bye.